Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Relationship. And first of all, I just want to acknowledge you all for being here today. And if you are out there, please let us know. Uh, Give us a heart. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're tuning in from. For those of you that don't know who I am Stefania Pulio from the Gentleman Square, and I am a men's love and relationship coach and hypnotherapist. And today you have me all to yourself. That's right. I am going to be talking about one topic that I think is really crucial. It's really important. It's something that we all want, but we have something that blocks us. Okay. So as the title reads, it's is fear of failure keeping you from finding love? Yes. A lot of the times we can be so wrapped up in our fear that it is actually sabotaging us to actually feel that love, be in that loving relationship that you have always wanted. And the reason I'm talking about this subject today is because I feel that a lot of both men and women, not only men, I know I do coach predominantly men, but not only men and women, but we find ourselves wanting something. We find ourselves wanting to be loved. We yearn to be in a relationship, to feel that connection with someone, to be with that someone that just understands us, and we want to feel connected. We want to feel safe. We want to feel like we can trust ourselves with that love of our life. But the one thing that gets in the way, and it's that four-letter word. Yes, that big four-letter word, fear. That's right. That one word we always, sets us back 10 steps back. Let's say hello to Oksana. Hello, darling. How are you? Good to see you. And she's commenting, you look gorgeous today. Wow, thank you. I'm wearing my hair curly for you. Oksana always says to me that my hair looks better curly. But while we're on this subject of hair, just quickly, do you like my hair curly or do you like it straight? I would like to take a poll here because I get mixed mixed opinions, which really doesn't matter because when I wear it curly, it's like my messy quick day. Throw my hair around because my hair's naturally curly. When I straighten it and set it, obviously I have more time for my hair. But anyway, off the subject of hair and back to relationships and how we run from the very thing that we want. Okay? Now, we talk about fear and we talk about how we have to go through certain things to be able to grow. But I just want to bring up a quote by the author and speaker of Zig Ziglar. I'm not sure whether you know him, but he says most people who fail in their dreams fail not from lack of ability but from lack of commitment. Right? And he underlines the importance of not just picturing your goals and dreams, but having the drive and putting them into work and achieve them. Now, when we talk about fear of failure, I know I talk about relationships, but this can also apply to financial, goals that you may have. It may be your own personal goals, but we fear. And even though Zig Ziglar says, the thing that's lacking is commitment, I believe there's another component which is really, really quite, significant here, and that is when in the process of reaching your goal in life, that really scares people. And that is fear, the fear of failing. And, before it even happens, we are already projecting the worst possible scenario. And, as human beings, I believe we are very, very good of that. We're very good at doing that. We're very good at, projecting everything we don't want. We focus on everything that we don't want. We may have experienced a relationship. We may have experienced some financial setbacks that will keep us from risking or taking the next step to, possibly having that relationship, possibly having that, financial success, having all that we really want, just because fear is in the way. And, fear can be really debilitating. Let's face it. We've all experienced it. We're all going to experience it again and again and again. But what's important is, how do we deal with this fear? It's something that's always going to rear its ugly head up and bite us in the butt, okay, so to speak. But making and taking little steps forwards towards your goal um, can help you overcome this fear. Because, they say when you look at the mountain and you've got to like climb it, and you, rather than looking at the mountain and just thinking, oh my God, look at this, what I have to endure, taking one step at a time. All right. So let me assure you, you're not alone. Okay. I think we're all in this together. The fear of being and feeling love and finding love. Now, I want to just share this survey that I did some research on, and it showed that around 31% of people have fear, okay? And in fact, people seem to be more afraid of failure than they are of spiders. All right. Now, everyone's like, spiders, spiders, spiders. That's right. They actually are more afraid of fear than they are of a venomous, spider, so to speak. So, what do we do with failure? How do we, you know, in, how do we overcome it? How do we, I guess, deal with it? And I always say failure is all about embracing it. I know that sounds really crazy and contradicting. What does Oksana say? Just back to my hair. I love curly, curly, curly. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Oksana. Um, so, embracing your fear. How do we embrace our fear? Well, first of all, embracing our fear is also necessary. Why is it necessary? Because a lot of the time, people are afraid of even trying to achieve their goal, of trying to achieve that relationship they've always wanted, of trying to actually feel that love, only because they don't want to feel that, that disappointment again. They're afraid of feeling disappointed. They're afraid of disappointing themselves. They're afraid of disappointing others. And the fear can actually be so strong that every little step that you actually take to like get closer to what it is that you want, it's often clouded by 100 thoughts. That's right. And usually these thoughts are negative. And they're negative because they're keeping you stuck. They're keeping you second guessing yourself. You keep asking yourself, what if? What if I do this? What if I embarrass myself if I actually tell her that I like her? What if I mess up this new relationship that I just really, really want, or this first date? Anything. What if the what ifs are, actually messing up? What if I find happiness with that really special somebody and then I lose it? I mean, they can be really debilitating thoughts. They can really be negative thoughts that are just going to keep us totally stuck and, you know, somewhat like in quicksand where we can't move any which way. Now, these thoughts in our minds can be so strong. And when they are so strong like that, they actually prevent us from actually focusing on what it is that we really want, on the goal. It can be just as equally strong. So we can really have that desire and that passion and that, wanting, but the negative thoughts, the self-sabotaging, self-talk that we tell ourselves can be just as strong and keep us really, really, really stuck. For example, sometimes we can have, 10 people telling us, giving us a compliment, telling us how great we are and how wonderful we are. But if your dialogue, if your narrative is negative, there's no way that what anyone else says or the compliments they give you, it's not going to shift the needle. The only person that is in control of shifting that needle is you. That's right. It's only you. And so you have to really resist and, you know, believe in you, believe in your thoughts, and, don't give in to these limiting beliefs that we are so good at creating. Okay. So what happens is when you actually give in to these negative thoughts, you actually resist your needs to actually find love. And what we do is we put it on pause. Why? Because we want to protect ourselves. Yes, ultimately, that's what we want to do. We want to we want to protect ourselves from being hurt. We want to protect ourselves from feeling what we felt in that last relationship. We want to, not go down that road. And, it was only yesterday I was speaking to a gentleman and I was telling him how I've got a group, a Facebook group called, How to Stop Attracting Toxic Women. And he said, Stefania, I needed you 2 years ago. He goes, that's all I was doing. I was in this vicious cycle of just, repeatedly just attracting toxic women. He said, fortunately now I've actually found the one. I feel that I have. He said, I feel. He wasn't really, he didn't sound that convincing, but anyway, he at least had a feeling that he had found someone that was a bit more compatible. But we can actually put love on pause because of this fear. Because why? Because it's safe. Well, if we put it on pause, no one can hurt us. No one can actually, harm us. And what happens is when we put things on pause like that, we put love on pause or we put and not work on ourselves. So let me just get this straight. You can actually put love on pause, but you can, or not love on pause, put a relationship on pause, having a relationship, but you don't put love on pause. Why? Because you need, love is necessary for yourself, self-love, growing in that love, developing, releasing past traumas and hurts, letting go of that fear and allowing the love in so you can heal. And because when you put yourself on pause, and because you want to protect yourself, as I said, and you don't want to get hurt, what happens is you're likely to believe, it creates this paradox actually, because the more you resist to love, is the more you're likely to fail. That's right, because whatever whatever you resist in life, they say, persists, right? And this is so true because you're trying to avoid, but then yet it's still persisting. So the fear of failure is almost like the fear of succeeding. And I'm sure you've heard this before. Some people fear not only failing, but they actually fear succeeding. They fear of actually getting what it is they want because it's so unfamiliar to them. It's so way in the distance and unreachable that it can't be true. And again, getting back into that self-sabotaging self-talk where you're likely to again be afraid of succeeding, afraid of reaching your goal, because then how am I going to handle it? This is all unfamiliar ground to me. But failing is, what I say, a natural part of the game. Okay, without failing, I guess, rather than calling it failing, I should say we can look at it as feedback. Yes, because sometimes when we think of the word failure, it has this negative connotation that we can't do it right. Even if we try again, we won't get it right. Even if I go into another relationship again, there's no way that I'm going to feel the love that I felt for that last person in my life. Okay, so every relationship, every failure is feedback. Okay, and we should look at it and learn and look at these setbacks, because that's all they are. That you can actually use these little setbacks to actually push you forward, to push you through getting what you want. Because we've said in the past that when you um, when you have a passion or a purpose, it can fuel you. So even when you're angry, an emotion, it's an emotion, it's energy in motion. So this can actually fuel you to get what you want. Okay, so nobody really gets the Disney princess stories that comes to love, because in the real world relationships take effort. All right, they aren't easy. Let's face it. Have you ever been in an easy relationship? And sometimes relationships don't work, right? We've tried, we've given everything we want, everything we've had in our hearts, we've just poured it all out. But it doesn't mean you've actually failed, okay? It doesn't mean you failed to reach a goal. It just means that you're not there yet. It means that life is just wanting to give you a little bit more, a little bit more to, experience. Maybe there's things that you still haven't learnt. There's maybe things that you haven't been able to say no to or yes to. So life's going to keep throwing you all these experiences, right? But this whole dilemma, all right, this whole dilemma of, can seem a little strange because, you know, after all, we all want to be in a relationship, right? We all want to experience the love. We all want to be in that, loving relationship and feel, all those things that we want to feel mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, right? But, you know, we all have different fears. And what one person's fear is might be different to another person's fear. So, some people may be afraid of intimacy. Some people, even if they crave it, they still are afraid of intimacy. Some people, as I said, are afraid of their past relationships that have created these fears in them. Sometimes the fears may even go as far back as, in your childhood years, experiencing and seeing, the relationship your parents had, or, those guardians or people that were close to you. You saw those failed relationships. So that is all, you know taking space in your subconscious mind. So these are all like known associations, and this is what we relate to. The triggers come up, and they make us feel all different ways, right? Now, Fear of failure. The fear of failure can also do things that really keep us from love. All right. For instance, have you ever dated someone? Have you ever been with someone that is just so right for you? I mean, eh, this person feels perfect. You connect really well. The chemistry is wonderful. You communicate. The flow of communication is amazing. You can look in each other's eyes and you're still communicating, right? That's where you just feel like it's perfect. But then there are warning signs, okay? And in these warning signs, you choose to ignore them for whatever reason, okay? Warning signs like, that person was too she or he was too flirty, or they're spending too much time at work and not spending enough time with you, or anything that may have caused the warning signs. And you may have ignored those red flags out of fear of being alone. Okay. And then what happens? You end up dating, or you end up being with this person just because you fear of being alone. All right. That is a recipe for disaster. So sometimes, um, that fear of staying with someone just because you fear of being alone actually enhances that feeling of being alone. Because even if you are in a relationship, the fact that you are ignoring those signs is keeping you alone. It's keeping you alone. So, fear. What do we do about it? How do we deal with this fear? How do we, overcome these fears? Because, we also have fears not only of being alone, but we have fears of being rejected. We have fears of, having the experience of a bad date, or awkward ways of, we find that we're always unable to approach or meet people. And they're all little setbacks that can only be overcome if you continually push yourself forward, push yourself through the fear. Because getting consumed by fear will only sabotage, it will self sabotage your chances of actually finding that love. So I think, when we are in this situation of feeling the fear, I know I felt it a few times, and it can set us back. It can set us, feeling um, feeling alone, feeling separate, not feeling the connection, because we are choosing to opt for fear rather than feeling the love. Okay, so I just want to quickly talk about the 3 unconscious fears that stop you from finding love. Okay, these are predominantly, you know, 3 main ones that hold us back, and they're not doing us any service, really. Okay, and the first one is fear of being hurt. I think this is the main one because um, we fear of having our heart, ripped into pieces. We fear of, giving our love away, inverted commas, so to speak, and then fearing of not having that love reciprocated back to us. But let me remind you that to actually receive love, you have to give love. You can't you can't receive and you can't give what you haven't got. So really focusing first of all and foremost on self-love. loving yourself, appreciating yourself, honoring yourself, looking at what you value in life, setting those goals and looking at those points in your life that are just so valuable and so important. Having a heart of gratitude, appreciation for yourself. And once you have all that for yourself, you find you're going to be able to give it. That's right. But when you give that love, you give it without any expectation. You give love just because it's it makes you feel good. Not you're giving it from a place of just, you know, giving rather than receiving back, rather than having an expectation of wanting that love back. Because when we are giving from a place of expectation, often when we might get disappointed because that love may not come back to us the way that we have been loving. Now, sometimes you can be a person that loves really hard. All right. You are the epitome of love. You just give with all your heart. You love unconditionally. You love till it hurts. Okay. And you don't want to love like that anymore because it's just too painful. Now, I know because I have experienced something like this myself many times. Okay. But I've learned that that is a part of me. That is a part of how I love. So to actually stop myself from loving or loving in the way that I know how is actually going to hurt me more because that is your way, that is your passion, that is the way you express your love. So, really important. Look at what is important for you. Look at how you love and how it makes you feel to love without the expectancy or having that expectation of being loved back in the same way. Okay, so that's number one, the unconscious belief that we have, of fear of being hurt. The other one is revisiting your relationship history. Okay, which is, I guess, similar to, fear of being hurt, but you're afraid of, you know, meeting someone who makes you feel a certain way, makes you feel amazing, and you know the feeling. How many times have you entered another relationship where you just know the feeling and you um, fear it because you think, oh my God, this is like deja vu. This feels like just like my last relationship. And look how I ended up in that relationship with my heart shredded in pieces. So the fear of repeating the history, the fear of revisiting your relationship history can be an unconscious belief that is actually stopping you from finding love. Okay. So, first of all, everybody is different. Okay. So, even though the feelings may be similar and feel similar, remember that everybody's different. You're not dating the same person. So, the fact that you may be feeling similar feelings may be that this person is genuine, unlike the last person. All right. So, give yourself or allow yourself to experience, allow yourself to take the risk of loving. It's not going to kill you. Fear is not going to kill you. The pain is not going to kill you. We think we're going to die. We think that it's the end of the world. Oh my God, have I felt that pain before? But it doesn't. We still are upstanding. Okay, so don't be drawn into the belief that it's the end, or revisiting those feelings that you may have had with that somebody else, even though it's coming up in another relationship, may not end up the same. However, in the interim, look out for the signs. Don't ignore the feelings you have, because those feelings that come up for you are only letting you know that something's up. Okay? Something's not right. Validate those feelings. Endeavor to just feel them, ask questions, and just sit with them and see what comes up for you. Okay? So don't ignore the signs. Even though everything feels wonderful, if there's signs there, if there's something that's you're feeling, then that means there is something that you may need to reevaluate. Okay? So the third unconscious belief that we may have is, what's the third one? I've got it written down here. Just bear with me. Fear of engulfment. All right. What does this mean? Have you ever been in a relationship where you have started seeing somebody, and then before you know it, you have lost yourself? That's right. It's the fear of losing oneself. While it can be understandable, because it can feel amazing, you're feeling wonderful, the chemistry is amazing, your endorphins, serotonin's bouncing everywhere. But losing yourself and giving yourself totally to that person without setting healthy boundaries can also be an unconscious block that is preventing you from finding love. All right? Because you fear it. You feel like, as I said before, you could be that person that loves so hard, gives your entire self to that one person, that you do feel engulfed. You feel, like you've just give yourself away. And you say, and I've heard this often where people say, I just can't help it. I just lose myself when I'm in a relationship. Well, if this sounds like you, this is where you may need to practice setting healthy boundaries. A, for yourself, and B, for that other person, because, ultimately it is important and necessary to set healthy boundaries for yourself. And also, when you set healthy boundaries, you're also letting that other person know how far or where they can step to. Okay. And you'll find that he or she will have more respect for you when you do set healthy boundaries. And that way, you won't have the fear of engulfment. You won't have that fear of losing yourself, and, you know, feeling like, if I don't do this and if I don't please this person, I'm going to lose this person. All right. So they are the three unconscious beliefs that one of three important ones that I really wanted to mention today, and how we can, be aware of them, address them, don't allow them to overtake us, don't allow them to engulf us, and don't let the fear um, of losing yourself, the fear of being rejected, the fear of failing, stop you from finding love. Okay? So instead of looking at it as failure, instead of looking at it as, it's the end, look at it as feedback. Okay? Look at these setbacks as lessons in your life that are only there to push you forward and know how you're going to do things differently next time in your next relationship. All right. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. And if you have any comments at all, if you have anything you'd like to share, please do so. And if you watch this on the replay, please hashtag replay, hashtag live, and yeah, send them some hearts, press like, share it with your friends if you feel that they need to listen to this as well. And yeah, just one more thing that I wanted to mention is to grab yourself a copy of my new book, Master the Language of Attraction. It is a great read. It's full of great information that will help you understand, the language of attraction, will help you understand women a little bit more for you men. And ladies, I know a lot of ladies have actually bought this book for their men, but grab yourself a copy. You can get it from Amazon. I'm going to put a link underneath here so you can just click the link and grab yourself a copy. And also come and visit my website, www.thegentlemansquare.com. I have a competition running as well, a monthly competition where you can win some prizes. All you have to do is just enter. And yeah, follow me on thegentlemansquare.com. And until then, as always, I want to send you all lots of love and lots of passion. Bye for now.